Welcome back to TRL Season 2, Tier 3, Round 8 at Imola. That was a minute's silence for one of our drivers, Cosmo RL's good friend who passed away this week. So our thoughts go out to her family. As you can see, he's using a tribute helmet that he created this week for her. So she's very much in the minds of all at TRL at the moment. And I'm very vocal in the chat about how he is missing her, so I really hope that he can get on the podium this weekend for his sake, and it'd just be a very nice thing to see. Such a nice kid get a podium. I don't know if this is planned, but if it is kind of like a formation drive, then that's amazing. So we'll just stay on board with these guys. They come round turn 3, one formation. Well, it looks like they're preparing for their laps now, breaking the formation that was created by Jason RL, or Cosmo RL on Xbox 4 rows. But we've got to focus on the racing today. That's what we are here for. And we've got Reese Big P coming across the line to start his lap around Monza. I'll take on a quick hot lap. No, not invalidated, I thought it was for a second. 215 miles an hour, brake at the 150, down to second gear. Doesn't take as much inside curve as he can. Turn 2, plants the throttle in second gear, down to Curva Grande. Switches to 8th, and he's left the session. Unlucky timing. Anyway, London LDN B Hill, on B Hill, on the medium compound tyre has set the fastest lap of the session. I think he's the one who's finished the lap. But yeah, he's going for the MM overdrive kind of strategy. Starts on the harder compound at the start of the race and then go to the softer compound towards the end, which has worked in his favour a lot. I think when they were doing the tribute to Cosmo's friend, where is Emerald Drive? There he is. No penalty. I thought he got a penalty for a second. Yeah, no, he did get he got a grip penalty for collision with Cosmo. Which was not intended at all. I don't think, at least. Oh, these two getting a little bit racy on the main straight. Cosmo getting all the DRS he can, and as he goes P2 with a 21.6, 4/10 back on B Hill, and he collects the curve a little bit in the rear and loses touch of the rear end of that Williams, sending him in a little bit of a spin in the exit of turn 2. Hopefully later on we should have Ashton co-commentating with me. He's currently doing IXR, International Xbox Racing, I think it is, I don't know. But yeah, he's representing the league in their tier 2, so obviously good luck to all tier 0 representatives for that. Marshmallow retires, and I think that was a crash. Yeah, that was a crash on the exit of Ascari, which is where I binned it, tier 1 race last time in Italy. See stricken Avatar on the left hand side there. And McLaren and the Williams getting a little bit racy on the qualifying lap, which is not the aim for qualifying at all. Oh, quite bad lag. I apologise for that. And we just caught JZMVS on the outside of Parabolica, losing the rear end and just tapping the wall, giving him wing damage, putting him into the pits and probably losing him around 3 or 4 minutes of run time, and kind of screwing up his plans for the whole session. So if you're new to this kind of format, 18 minutes of qualifying will determine who starts where on the grid for the race. You see, B Hill has the little yellow circle instead of all the red circles. That indicates he's on a harder compound tyre, which is kind of harder to get a better time on. Despite that, he is still P1. However, only 2 of the 12 drivers have set a lap successfully. Well, rowdy TJ boy, going TJ for now, who's starting his lap now. TJ was one of the first drivers to actually challenge MM Overdrive on pace, which is a big feat, as MM Overdrive has been untouchable in this tier 3. So it's great to see some competition for him. I need to invite Big P, I think. There we go. Should be able to join. While I was gone, Cat of Man goes P1 with a 19.9. That's a representative soft time, I would say. Unlike Cosmo's. I didn't manage to catch what sectors TJ's been putting in. I expect them to be fairly decent. As he comes across the line, he goes P2 with a 20 flat, only a 10th off. Not even that, about half a 10th off of Cat of a Man. Very close. Oh, we've got Cosmo setting a lap now. Managed to hook up the first chicane fairly nicely. Heading into turn 3. And Big P has joined back, I think. I've just noticed that. To the second chicane, takes plenty of curb. It just gets a little bit squirrely on the exit. Let's row 1, drops into 6. He's going to use the curb on the outside just a little bit. He can be a little bit more greedy there if he wants to. Doesn't use the Astra on the inside. What I'm seeing from Cosmo, I think he needs to be a little bit more brave on the track limits. Italy does fight as a track if you don't respect it. And that's what we're seeing right here as he cuts the first bit of the scar in, goes invalid, has a spin, and no, he does retire. He does retire. He did what Marshmallow did, he did what I did. It's a very easy mistake to make. There's a lot of debris on the track now, which Jay's, I think it's James. Is that might be one of the Jameses. We had 2 Jameses last week. I might have changed his game tag, so I'm just gonna call him James for now. Sorry, James, in advance if that's not your actual game tag. But it does do a 21.6 on the medium compound tyre, and as things stand, the medium runners are going to be fairly up the grid, only because they're being quite conservative and getting times in, which massively contrasts the other 6 in the session that haven't. And this is giving B Hill and James a massive advantage going forward. So we've got both Alfa Romeos out on track at the moment, and we've got Owen Overdrive on a lap, goes purple sector 1, already showing his superior pace in this tier, comes around the first Esmo, as he can use the curb on the second, not much of the entry, and all of the exit too far, and he invalidates. More running time lost to the pin, and that doesn't really match up with his high standards as the tier 3 championship leader. Lewson going very wide there and spinning in the gravel. His lap time is invalidated anyway. Just resetting that McLaren back in the straight line. And spinning again as he attempts it. I saw a car go into the gravel there. Quite fast. I think it was James. Yeah, it was James. Well, Cat of Man. P1 in this session so far. Sets out on another lap. And he's about half a tenth down in the first sector. So if he wants to go further purple, he's going to have to put in a blinder of the middle sector just to get that time back that he's lost in the first. He comes through Lesmo 2 and yet he's gone very wide. He doesn't invalidate as he lost time by going outside of the track in his game time. However, yeah, 1.5 seconds down. He's turned the ERS down, there's no point in pushing further. Excuse me. But got TJ on another lap in the AlphaTauri. We only have 3 minutes left in the session, and we have 6 drivers that haven't set a lap, so I think there'll be a fairly large rush out of the pit lane in the next minute or so, just to get a lap in, representative time in. And TJ has set a purple sector 1 by 2.5 tenths. So he's definitely got eyes on pole at the moment. Beautiful through the Lesmo 2. That's a perfect line through there. He carried a decent amount of momentum through. Down the hill, under the old banking of the old Monza circuit. Another purple sector, 2.5 tenths up again. A little bit of understeer through Ascari, but gets it all under control on the exit. You see the tyres on the barrier there from 2 retirements we've had there. He'll be getting a distant slipstream from the Renault ahead, so that will benefit him down this and the next straight as he runs up to the line. What will it be? A 19.5 puts him on pole by 5 tenths of a second. A perfect, would you say end? 1 minute 50 to go. I don't think he'll be able to set another lap. He might, I don't know, but a good lap from him. And he's looking to be on that front row of the grid. We've got MM Overdrive on a lap, seemingly the only one in contention of pole, along with TJ. Using a lot of exit curb there. That means he's carried a lot of speed through the corner. to Lesmo 2. Could use it a bit more exit. He had a little lock-up on the way through. As he plunges down the hill into Ascari. What will the second time be? It's a purple, but there's no time increment because this is his first lap with only 50 seconds to go. However, he is looking like he's looking to be on a pole position lap at the moment as he goes through Parabolica, running all the way to the outside and cutting back to the inside for the line. What will it be? It's a 19.2. TJ has been beaten by 0.3 of a second by Emma Overdrive. With only 30 seconds to go in this session, it looks like Overdrive might have secured pole. But TJ wants another go. He is on another lap with only 16 seconds left in the session, powering all the way through to turn 4 and 5 to the chicane. Very, very tight chicane, easy to validate. He goes purple sector 1. That's very, very crucial to his qualifying. Uses the perfect amount of exit curve, maybe a tiny bit too much. 5th gear through Lesmo 1. Could use more exit curve, but it's all about the momentum he takes down the hill into Sky. It seems that he took enough. We'll be able to see a sector time in a moment, which reads a 10th up, but a 10th won't be enough at this rate. He needs 3.5 tenths to be on pole to beat MM Overdrive. MM Overdrive is slowing down on the same straight as TJ. He's going straight back into the pits. We're going to ride on board with TJ. Has he been able to make up those 2 tenths in the last sector? No, he hasn't. He's lost time, which guarantees MM Overdrive on pole for round 8 of Tier 3 TRL Season 2. One lap wonder for MM Overdrive. Further securing his dominance at the top as those Alfa Romeo engineers wheel his car back into the pits. As he has finished first in qualifying, he's got another pole position to add to his extensive collection at the moment. But he has a 5-place grid penalty for a collision earlier on in the session, which means TJ inherits pole position. So the actual standings are TJ, Catavman, Big P, OJB, then MM Overdrive, B Hill, James, Cosma, Lucen, Marshmallow, Mick, and James Greer. Mick and James Greer not setting times, as I think they have qualifying bans from the last round. I didn't spectate, I didn't com on the last round, so I wouldn't know exactly what happened. And I'm just checking the chat now, and yeah, MM Overdrive is not happy with the collision penalty that he got. Having said that, he will be on a charge for the race win, which honestly TJ needs to be on the top of his game to beat Overdrive, as Overdrive is by far and away the fastest in this tier. Having said that, people need to be smarter than him to beat him. Kind of a Niki Lauda, Alain Prost situation going on. At the moment, Overdrive leads the Drivers' Championship with 159 points, and the next car behind is on 63. A gaping 96 point difference between first and second there. And that is Silver Trig, who I don't think is racing. So that gives Catavan Man, who is in second, a very good chance of capitalising on that and getting a P2. But TJ and P4 can also take P2 from Silver Trig and Catavan Man. So, other than the lead, other than for the lead of the championship, it's all seemed to be heating up a little bit. Let's check what tyres everyone is on. So, at the moment, the seemingly dangerous characters in this race are B-Hill and James. Down in P7 as they are both on the medium compound tyres. They will be trying to go longer in this race than the soft runners, and then capitalise on the softer tyre towards the end of the race, because you have to use two different compounds. Use the harder at the start of the race when the grid is more compact. You lose less time as a net, and if you're using the softer compound towards the end when the grid is more spaced out, you're actually giving yourself free air with the better tyres to set better, faster, more consistent laps. So that is what the Ferrari and the Renault will be trying to do. TJ, Catofman and Big P, they've all gone very, very early to get to the grid. As you can see, TJ is just forming into his grid slot now, and Lucen IX isn't even at Parabolica yet, so he's making sure that his tyres are have the best heat, or are at the best temperature for the start of the Italian Grand Prix. Well, as the final four roll slowly into their grid position, we wait for those infamous 5 red lights. That illuminate now. Is it TJ's or is it Overdrive's? It's lights out, where are we going? 2 people have got drive-through penalties already. Cosmo RL and Lucen IX have jumped the start. That's why the McLaren is already at turn 1. Anyway, TJ and Catalan side by side through turn 1. TJ keeps the nose in the inside and manages to keep the position. What's gone on behind? Everyone fairly clean through turn 1 and 2. Cosmo RL with a drive-through as well as Lucen IX. Lucen IX is making the most of it. He's gone. Already got a 1.6 second gap. TJ Catofman, who seems to be the main protagonist of this race, slowly catching up. Overdrive's had a fairly bad start, being jumped by Mick, I think. Mick's had a great start, and there's a spin up. Big P is round on the outside of Lesmo 2. All his progress to no use. Big shame for him. I'm getting a bit of lag here. I thought Cosmo went off, but he didn't. You've got Emma Overdrive looking to the inside of Mick. Mick, not the cleanest driver we've seen in TRL history. Concedes the position. Big lift there. He's got damage. Yeah, he's got damage. He's boxing to fix it with a Haas and the Williams, who is serving the drive-through penalty. Anyway, to the front of the grid now, and Overdrive has got into the... No, James has got into the back of Overdrive. Overdrive spun. Overdrive is round. The leaderboard, the timing leaderboard has gone a little bit. There's a McLaren round of Lucen IX. The regular commentator has been spun around by someone. I didn't manage to catch who, and he's back in the wall again. No damage, it seems. He's been fairly annoyed, fairly disheartened by that, and he's spun again into the wall. Has to surely damage there. Resets the track. And the Red Bull is around again at the exit of Lesmo 2. That's the second time in 2 laps. But we've got to focus on the front of the grid now. Cattleman has built a 1 second gap to TJ. And there's a full course safety car. And it's Lucen IX. He's crashed. I don't know if that was on purpose or he genuinely just crashed. But he's got terminal damage. And won't be competing for the rest of the race. As James puts up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This is annoying for people like Cosmo. I was gonna say Lucen IX as well, but annoying for people that had a drive-through penalty and didn't serve it. If they served it under the safety car, they lost a lot less time. Anyway, we've got a very different grid to what we started with. Cattleman gains P1 from Rowdy TJ Boy, who dropped 1 place off the start. OJB's gone up 1, Ehun up 1, Cosmo up 3 despite the jump start. It's a very good early recovery from him. James up 1, having said that, has a 5-second time penalty to deal with later on in this race. James Greer got up 5, looks to be the best starter so far. Overdrive down 2 after being spun by James. Didn't manage to catch the whole thing. Mick up 2. Marshmallows retain position. Big Pete down 8 with those 2 spins at Lesmo 2. So we've got 2 boxers, OJB and... is that TJ? That is TJ. This is very interesting for the rest of the race. I assume he'll go into the hard compound tyres, which he does fit to that AlphaTauri car. He's looking to go to the end of the race now. He thinks that he could do the rest of the race without another pit stop. A very, very bold strategy call. But I guess if you want to beat N on overdrive, you're going to have to think in a different way. Think outside the box, as it were. Overdrive is on the same strategy, it looks like. If you look at the tyre graphic on the top left-hand side of your screen, a variety of different tyres to what the driver started, and only 3 drivers that haven't pitted yet, which is fairly remarkable in 4 laps into a race. But OJB thinks he can take mediums, 23 laps. That's going to be a big stretch for him. I'm expecting a lot of punches towards the end of the race, which is obviously very entertaining to watch as drivers scramble for position on rubber that has been abused around Monza for 23 laps. The hards will last, but it'll be a little bit of a stretch. It'll be a little bit touch and go in the last 2 laps. Mediums, I don't think will be able to last, but we will see. We'll see if OJB has outclassed everyone in terms of strategic thinking. But through the mini pit stop phase, we'll just see if anyone else dives into the stops for now. Doesn't look like it. But TJ, the important thing with pitting under the safety car is everyone bunches up towards the end. So TJ was fighting with Cattleman, but now he's only about 1.5 seconds behind the Alpha male, and he's made a pit stop. A pit stop roughly takes 20 seconds. So by that logic, he's 20 seconds in front, while only being a 1.5 second gap between the 2 cars. But Cattleman is looking to box around lap 12 onto the medium compound tyres, which will be a lot faster than the weathered hards of the AlphaTauri of TJ. And Cattleman will have the confidence that those tyres will be able to make it to the end. So B-Hill starting on those mediums, so towards the end he is going to be even faster than anticipated, as everyone's going to be on older tyres than we thought they would be. So B-Hill's going to be a weapon towards the end of this race, as race control decide that the debris has been cleared from Lucien IX's retirement, and the safety car is no longer needed and will be coming in this lap. And Cosma's left. I don't know if he needs an invite. I'll check chat in a moment. Cat of Man rounds the final corner. The safety car's just pitted now. And we are go again. Safety car restart. And there's been a yellow flag already, and that's Cosmo. Cosmo pitted. We've got B-Hill and TJ side by side into turn 1. TJ's been squeezed out onto the gravel, and he's lost, I think, 2 places there, and he squeezed James onto the grass there. Overdrive gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Already in this race, only 6 laps deep. Not a good start for TJ, even worse start for Aaron Overdrive. We might not see him on the podium. He's been overtaken by Big P, and he's been spun. He's been spun already. Big developments for Tier 3 in the moment. The fastest car on track, so to speak. The most confident driver, the best in ability so far shown, has spun. Has not had a good start to the race. There's another yellow flag. Is that Nick got pushed on the exit of the Sky, I would say. Big P, no ERS left to fight with along the back straight. No, he's got damage. Big P's got damage. They're off the box. He was looking to go to the end of the race, and that strategy has gone out the window. TJ will be trying to push forward now. Gaps between cars, that would be good to see. But it seems like TJ is keeping the McLaren of OJB honest, staying within a healthy gap. The rear end, you can see, is getting a little bit loose, and Overdrive gets another 3-second penalty for corner cutting. This is very un-Overdrive-like driving. He's been very consistent all season. We're not seeing that from him yet in this race. Race control, DRS has been enabled. A little flap in the rear wing. Opens, gives you an extra 20 kilometers an hour down the straights to help you overtake the car in front. Overdrive seems to have got a good run on Marshmallow. Marshmallow outbrakes himself a little bit. Overdrive putting pressure on the AlphaTauri ahead, but can't get past yet. They've got James Greer has left the session, I think. His AI driver is driving for him. It goes round the outside of Curva Grande. There's a little bit of bumping, but he's made the move stick and tries to go up the inside of James Greer and just about makes it. 2 moves in 1 corner from Overdrive. That's why he's leading the championship. But he needs to make a big gap up. About 17 seconds. Plus 6 seconds of penalties. That's how far behind Kazakhstan he is. TJ is 4.1 seconds behind. So Cat of Man wants to be building this gap as much as possible to ensure that he won't get overcut. He'll be an overcut. But DRS flapping the rear wing has been enabled. Moves to the right hand side of OJB, and it's not really much of a fight. He's passed before the braking zone, but OJB is going to go for it again. Little switchback, and he's through. This is exactly what TJ does not need, because he wants to be getting in the clearest air he can instead of pumping in consecutive laps. But he's gone around the outside of Curve Grande, a little bit of contact, and he's made the move stick, but OJB goes for it again. I mean, it's great racecraft for the both of them not to massively touch. But OJB is not letting this position go. He gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting there. They're side by side as they plunge down into the Scari, under the old banking. And as we catch a camera shot of them, TJ has made it in front by the Ascari chicane. But OJB is half a tenth behind, so he will have a strong slipstream. And OJB has more ERS. OJB brakes late, goes for the dive bomb, and TJ just plays it smart, goes for the switchback. A lot of contact there. I don't think any wing damage, but very, very close to a spin to the wall for TJ. So we're back in this position, side by side, into turn 1. TJ goes round the outside but misses his braking zone and retains behind that McLaren. This has allowed Mick to catch up, actually, on the soft compound tyres. And because of that little excursion, TJ's lost about 3 seconds to the leader of Cat of Man. 17 laps remaining. We should be getting a pit stop from the front two around, well, Cat of Man in about 2 laps, B-Hill probably about 6. But TJ's made it in front of OJB with the DRS usage there. We're in the exact same position we found ourselves to be in last time. TJ goes very wide there. In another respect, this is what TJ doesn't need, as he's going to be pushing his tyres, like reducing the life of them towards the end of the race, and he's pushing the track limits as well, which might be giving him crucial warnings and penalties. But Cat of Man is in the pits now, going onto the medium compound tyre. In a moment we'll see the gap that he needs to build to get to TJ, but TJ stays in front crucially into the chicane, into turn 1 and 2, and he retains P2 and nets P1 in this race. And OJB just simply isn't close enough to answer to that. So we need to see the DRS zone and how close OJB is at that DRS zone, which is here. He retains the DRS, 40% of battery life left, compared to TJ's measly 12. So he will be under attack during on the Parabolica, the Run 2 Parabolica, and on the outside of it as well, with only a 3/10 gap between the two drivers. OJB is gaining, won't overtake into Parabolica, but maybe into turn 1 and then the long main pit straight. It's only a 5/10 gap, which around Monza is all you need with DRS and overtake mode to catch up. TJ's run out of energy. Are we going to get a dive bomb into turn 1? No, we are not. OJB using his head a bit there, just making sure he doesn't put himself out of the race, because we're not even halfway through it yet. If I was OJB right now, I know I have faster tyres, but they need to go to the end, so maybe just stay in TJ's DRS and just kind of harvest energy. Make sure you don't burn your tyres out, as this is a long way to go, especially for mediums. And we need to divert our attention onto Man, who's on those shiny new medium compound tyres in 7th place, 22 seconds back off the leader, but crucially 16 seconds off TJ, and this is on brand new tyres, so that gap will be coming down significantly towards the end of the race. It's going to be nip and tuck to see who wins, but James is so slow on the straights. Man is just hunting him down through every inch of the track, and James goes wide. So nearly takes out Man there. That was inch perfect, and with a virtual safety car been deployed, Mick makes a pit stop under it. Wow, that could not have been any closer if those two drivers tried. A big mistake from James, almost calling a retirement for Man. OJB picking up another 3-second time penalty I saw, but he's still within DRS range of TJ. And the race has restarted again. Man has lost a lot of time under that virtual safety car passing to TJ. TJ has timed that to perfection. So the gap now stands at 19 seconds, as it was at about 15 earlier. Big loss from Man. I said that TJ gets a little bit wild out of the Asparish game. Seems to be catching all the drivers out today. But let's look at the penalty so far. As I say that, Marshmallow gets another 3 seconds. B-Hill stands with 3, OJB with 6, James Greer with 3, Overdrive with 6, Marshmallow with 14, and Big P with 3. As Cosmo overtakes James Greer, all they're side by side. Cosmo down the inside. Tidy move on those soft compound tyres, but he will have to stop again. Definitely will have to stop again in this race to make sure he gets to the end. James Greer all over the back of the Williams. He's going to send one around the outside. Thinks better of it. Maybe looking for the switchback on the run into turn 3. He has a marginally more DRS, but I don't think he will be able to use it. TJ has been losing out. You can see the time gap, and there's a yellow flag at sector 2. I don't think someone maybe just ran over the gravel. I think it was Cosmo, because he just overtook James Greer, and now he's all of a sudden behind. Got a little bit of battle going on back end of the track as Mick picks up a 3-second time penalty. The gap is under a second, so Big P will be picking up DRS at some point. But Aero Overdrive has found himself in absolute no man's land at the moment in this race. The leader of the championship by nearly 100 points is just floating around 12 seconds back from the nearest car and 7 seconds ahead of the car behind. Very what's the word? very sorry about that. My microphone cut out there, but there's a big battle going on between Big P and Marshmallow. Big P just stays ahead for now. Marshmallow will be within the DRS zone, DRS range, at 72% of the ERS remaining, with Big P on a measly 12. So Marshmallow, despite just being overtaken, will be very aggressive on the straights. Cosworth boxes again, I'm assuming for mediums. Maybe another set of softs. Nah, mediums there, mediums there. Oh, and Marshmallow spun! He spun in the exit parabolica. Just been overtaken, and he will be in last position. Yep, Cosmo's come out of the pits in front, so it's officially last. Unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Well, the gap, there's now 11 seconds between Catapman and TJ. And at the end of the straight is TJ, at the start of the straight is Catapman, so they are like, basically Catapman is gaining a lot of time right now as B-Hill boxes finally for soft compound tyres, as we expected. 10 lap blast to the end for him, and all of a sudden, if his pace is good, which I think it is, considering his pace at the front of the grid, James Greer gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. B-Hill might be able to overtake Cataplan. Having said that, he does have penalties. Overdrive sets the fastest lap of the race in that clear air that he has. But now you can see the gap to the leader from Cataplan Rowdy, TJ Boy, is 10.2, so he's gained about 10 seconds in, say, about 7 laps. However, he needs to gain about a second a lap just to be within a shot of winning this race. But you can just see how much quicker B-Hill is. He'll be catching all the time. However, Catapman has more ERS, which means that he'll be able to defend a lot more aggressively on the straights. Comparison to B-Hill is just burning his up. Purple sector 3 though, as you can see. OJB boxes. He wasn't planning to take those mediums to the end. Onto the soft compound tyres, he'll rejoin in front of MM Overdrive, I think, and behind Mick. Mick's had quite a nice race. He hasn't really made much contact with people. He's just been quietly there, and he's been gaining a lot of time in that free air that he's been able to capitalise on. But B-Hill, you can just see how much he's gaining, like visually. And he's putting Catapman under a lot of unneeded pressure at the moment. He has a 3-second time penalty, but with his pace, I think he can undo it. Around the outside, into a scar. It's not a typical overtaking move. He's running out of ERS very, very slowly. Very, very quickly, actually. But he makes the move into the Ascari chicane, and Catapman actually loses time backing off there. Loses 1.3 seconds to the Renault, just making sure there's no contact. But he's got to make sure that gap stays within 3 seconds, which honestly I don't think he'll be able to do. B-Hill is looking very, very strong for this race win, and he sets the fastest lap of the race further to like solidify his pace for round 8 to season 2 for these tier 3 drivers. Maybe Catapman has actually jumped the gun in terms of tyre wear, because he started very, very well. he started gaining a lot of time on TJ, but now it's kind of just trickling away from him. And the gap to Catalan and TJ is staying about the same. But let's not forget, TJ has got 14 laps already on those tyres. Big P gets a 3-second tyre penalty for multiple warnings on the track limits. But yeah, TJ, 14 lap old tyres. And that number's only going to increase as there's been a collision between Big P and Cosmo, I believe, and Cosmo's lost his whole front wing. I do feel for Cosmo. He's had a very, very, very tough week as it is, and this just doesn't help. He lost his front wing. Skips his game, 5-second time penalty for doing so. TJ boxes! As we're looking at Cosmo, it's a virtual safety car. A virtual safety car, meaning that the pit time takes a lot shorter than usual. So TJ has come out only 15-16 seconds behind B-Hill. And honestly, I don't think TJ was going to win if he stayed out. So the only other option is to box now. Cat of Man has got a penalty now. So that's almost deleted all of his chances of winning the race, as it seems. Now he's just going to try and hang on to that second place as Big P gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So yeah, as you can see, Cosmo boxing for that new front wing. But B-Hill is looking very, very comfortable at the moment. After starting in 5th, he's managed to work his way to the lead, and a very convincing lead at that. As they come round a lap, Cosmo. The important thing now is just to observe the pace of TJ and see how much he can catch up to Catalan and B-Hill, and see if he really does have any chance of winning this race. And he only needs to be within 3 seconds of either of the top two to gain the position. He gets purple sector 1, indicating that he has the fastest that anyone's been all race through those 3 corners. It's a little bit wild on the exit of Desmond 1. But I mean, he's gained a 1.5 seconds already through that middle sector on the cars in front. Mick, 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. TJ is the only one without penalties, which is fairly crucial as the front two do have penalties. As he comes across the line, I'm expecting it to be a fastest lap, and it is. Is that Marshmallow round? Yep, Marshmallow is round the exit of the second chicane, and he has damage, light damage. But if we quickly go to the race director, we can look at the pace of the drivers. So B-Hill's last lap was a 22.5. Cataman's was a 23.4. So about a 1 second difference between the top two. And TJ's was a 20.7. So a solid 2 to 3 seconds quicker than the drivers in front. So TJ is by far and away the fastest car on the track at the moment. And it just depends on how quickly he can catch and if he can capitalise on those soft tyres before they go off. That's another thing you should be aware about, is that B-Hill's tyres will fade away rather quickly, as the softs do on a more rugged surface at the end of the race. But TJ is within sight of Caterpillar. As the gap is only 1.6 seconds. So by next lap he should be within DRS range. But having said that, Caterpillar has been like spectacular at saving his DRS. He's still got 67%, 69% to his disposal compared to TJ's 15, 10, 5. He's using all of it. He's putting his all into catching Caterpillar. He needs to clear Caterpillar and he needs to be taking 2 seconds a lap minimum out of TJ. Out of Beho, sorry. Having said that, there is the penalty to come into play, so he only needs to gain 4 seconds to win this race. If you want a safe bet, put money on Beho. If you fancy your chances, go for TJ, because TJ, his pace is a lot better than Behill's at the moment. And Caterpillar has a big mistake. I don't know if that was a mistake or it just braked. I don't know what happened there. He almost parks it right on the exit of the Ascara chicane. Is there damage to TJ's front wing? I don't think so. Was Caterpillar got damaged? No. That was very, very peculiar from Caterpillar. Stopping, almost it seems, on the exit of the Ascara chicane, but with no ERS, TJ just can't get past that Alfa Romeo. There's 35%. I said that TJ is looking to the inside, and with the shorter line through turn 3 has made the corner, made it in front. A 9-second gap stands between Behill and TJ now, and 9 seconds. Take away the 3 is only 6. He needs to be taking 6 seconds in 3 laps. It has to be 2 seconds a lap. He lost a lot of time behind Caterpillar, but he's already gained half a second. TJ could do it here. But we've got a big-ish battle going on towards the midfield with Overdrive, Nick and OJB all in a little DRS train. Navigates Ascari onto the back straight towards Parabolica, and he seems to have got a better run than Nick. Nick with a lot more ERS at his disposal, however, so he pulls away by using it. OJB only with 19, so Nick on the straight should be the fastest one. Opens his DRS, I'm expecting a move. OJB weaving around, that's very aggressive. He tries to squeeze Mick into turn 1. More than one movement on the straight there, and that's compromised Mick's exit. And Overdrive is looking to the outside, just a little banging of wheels there around Curb Grande. And the positions stay the same, however, Enno Overdrive. It's Enno Overdrive, he's going to send, of course, double lockup. Mick closes the door just about, and the positions stay the same. We'll just quickly look back to the front of the grid. The gap's only 7.5. And the thing is with Monza, even if you have a tyre advantage, half the track is full throttle where you don't have corners. And corners ultimately is where the tyres make a difference. So saving your softer tyres to the ends or going on a late charge when the gap's this big isn't always as effective as it seems as we go on to the penultimate lap. And now in 2 laps he has to gain 4 seconds. So it's still doable. Definitely still doable. They seem to be on the same amount of ERS at the moment. But we've got action towards the midfield. Mick seems to be making the move on OJB, but OJB's having none of it. Squeezing the Mercedes. using his DRS to stay in front. Going into the second chicane, Mick has a little bump at the rear wing and decides to back off into the corner. Big B gets another 3-second time penalty in this race. But OJB stays ahead. MM Overdrive should be the aggressor, should be the fastest driver. And he's just not making any moves. How, as I say that, Mick makes a mistake and MM Overdrive capitalises on it, as he should, and moves into 5th position. And with everyone having 6-second time penalties, wow, commentator's curse really does exist. I say 6-second time penalty, MM Overdrive gets a 9-second time penalty now. As Mick moves ahead with that poor exit from Ascari. But as it stands, TJ's got to gain about 3 seconds on this last lap, which, with the best will in the world, is very unrealistic. But Mick closing in on OJB, not close enough. So B-Hill comes through Lesmo 2. Started P5, if you remember, about an hour ago. But he was the first one out in qualifying, the first one to set a representative lap. And he chose the medium compound tyre, the thing that M Overdrive, the leader of the championship by 100 points, normally does. And TJ gets a 3-second time penalty, which is the nail in the coffin for him. He will be staying in 2nd position. And he will be there at the end of the race. B-Hill, qualified 5th, finishes 1st in Tier 3 for TRL Season 2 in Italy. An amazing race from him, an amazing comeback from that position. But we've got to go back to the midfield. Mick, this is his last chance, maybe on the exit of Parabolica, but I think OJB is just about going to hold on. He is. Catalan crosses the line now, so much potential for him in this race, but it's only a P3, OJB P4, Mick P5, Overdrive P6, and Cosmo's already finished. Unlucky race for him. I do feel for the guy. He deserves more. Definitely, but James Greer comes across the line to finish P7. Big B through the Ascari chicane. 20 seconds of penalties to his name. Comes through Parabolica as the last driver and finishes in 8th position. Could be worse, could not be picking up points like James and Luton IX did or didn't do. Well, I was hoping that race would be a little bit more climactic in the middle part, as we had the promise of 3 drivers coming together towards the end of the race for an almighty scrap for the win. But B-Hill's pace was brilliant in the middle of in his first stint, and that proved to be the winning formula for him as he climbs to the top step of the podium and raises the trophy aloft. And we will try and get them in an interview to see what they thought about the race.
Hello.
Hello, can you make sure to include your audio?
Yeah,
the stream
I have done, yeah.
Alright, nice one. So, first things first, how do you pronounce your name? Because I've been saying B-Hill the whole stream.
Yeah, B-Hill. Yeah, everyone says B-Hill.
Ah, okay, no, I said B-Hill,
Yeah.
Nice one. So, P1, I think this is your debut. I don't know if you raced
second race, yeah.
Yeah, second race. But P5 to P1, you can't be upset with that.
Yeah, to be fair, I was kind of gutted because I was on for a pole lap and at the end I validated, but
Yeah,
it seems to have worked out for me.
yeah.
The,
I
the,
saw
the
you
early, I
started.
think,
There
yeah,
you go.
the
You
early
go.
safety car kind of helped me because everyone else pitting, I'm thinking they can get it to the end, kind of worked in my favour.
Yeah, you managed to pull on
Cause
those medium compound tyres to about the middle of the race, and then just go on a rampage at the end on
yeah,
those
on the softs,
softs.
everyone was just easy picking. Like the amount of extra grip I had over cat and stuff was
Yeah.
madness. But I don't think I think if if TJ didn't box, I don't think I'd have caught him. I think just as he boxed, my tyres were just going off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it seemed like even then you had pretty decent pace.
Yeah, but with the penalty and stuff, I generally don't think I'd have won the
Yeah,
race if he didn't
yeah.
box. Yeah.
But yeah,
It all
I
come
mean,
together in the end.
yeah, yeah. So cool. Well done. Very well done this race. Hopefully we see you next week, and hopefully you can
Will do.
capitalise on Evan Overdrive making mistakes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right,
Take
cheers.
care.
So that will wrap up TRL Season 2, Tier 3, Round 8 in Italy. Thrilling race where I think we have a new winner of B Hill playing the strategic masterclass towards the end of the race. So please join us again tomorrow.